Hello everyone and welcome to the Cards War Room channel. The latest expansion, World at War Escalation, has just released, and today I have quite the treat for you. Myself and our special guest Dynamo will be reviewing all the new cards for the draft format and helping you get to those 7 wins as soon as possible. I don't think we're going to dilly-dally for too long, we're just going to get straight into it. Starting with Japan, who have the new Sakura Regiment. Now this is the 1-drop for Japan. It's a 1/3 that gets +2 attack if you have fewer cards in your hand than your enemy. How do you feel about this considering draft?
I think this is going to be really good. Sometimes you run yourself into some draw issues. This card really gets buffed if you are low in hand. You get to play this on turn 1, or if you're going first. It's a 3/3 with 1 op, which is very strong.
Sure, and I mean, at worst, it's a 1/3 for 1, which is sort of the standard, the gold standard. That's what a Greyhound is, that's what a Red Devil is. At worst, it's not bad, right?
Exactly, and most people when they draft their decks, they're not going to have a big early game, so this card has a great chance of popping off.
And then the next card for Japan is Southern Plan, which costs 4 credits. It's an order. It gives you 1 extra credit slot and takes away one of your opponents. You sort of steal the credit slot from your opponent. How do you feel about this as a draft card?
Ramp is something you never really go for in draft, and there's not a lot of ramp synergy in the Japan library, so I don't see this card going to see a lot of play in draft. You can get a little bit of a tempo out of it, but you're not going to play this on curve. And there's very little synergy.
Sure, makes sense. And those are the 2 Japanese cards. We've got no others in the Escalation expansion. So we're going to get straight into the Soviets with the 52K. Now this is a 2/2 artillery for 3 credits with 2 operation cost. And the deployment effect, deal 4 damage to target enemy air unit, which does take out a good chunk of the air units in the game. It will take out most of the problematic bombers. A couple, such as the B-17, may get past it, but for the most part, this is going to kill most of them. How do you feel about this, Dynamo?
Very strong deployment. It's really odd for Soviets, which lack deployment effects. So basically, this is a 3k 4 damage to any air units, and then you get a 2/2 artillery on top of that. Can be very strong. I think where this card really hurts is the 2 operations. You're spending a lot of credits just to get 2 attack. It's not that great, but everybody loves guarded arty, so this is going to see a lot of play.
Sure, and I mean, it's going to take out those bombers you have to get past the guards as well. It reminds me of their other anti-air artillery, which is the 1/1 for 1, which can be really, really frustrating to deal with. And then the next card for the Soviets is the 60th Cavalry Regiment. This is a 4-drop. It has 1 operation cost. It's got a 3/6 body of ambush, and it means players, now take in mind this is both players, can only give 1 order per turn. How do you feel about the 60th Cavalry Regiment, Dynamo?
If you're not looking at the passive here, it's a 3/6 with ambush. Very strong, great stat line. Definitely on its own, very strong. Then you add on to this passive and stuff like that. You're not going to have a lot of orders in your deck, or you try not to get a lot of orders. So there's not a lot of anti-synergy that's going to hurt this card. Then you just throw ambush on top of that. It's going to be very strong. Great with the Zitnomir. I think it's going to see a lot of play, especially in ladder 2.
Sure, a potential card to look out for. And then the final one for Soviets, possibly the sort of strangest one of them all, is Machines of War. It's a 5k order, and it adds the top Soviet infantry in your deck to your support line. Now, I have seen a bit of confusion among some users about what top means. It doesn't mean the highest cost, it means the card that is highest on top of your deck, closest to the top of your deck. So this will grab the highest infantry, and it will put it into your support line. How do you feel about Machines of War, Dynamo?
There's not a lot of high expensive Soviet infantry units that are more than 5k. So you really want to get value out of this. So you're going to want to snipe those big high cost infantry units. That's going to limit your draft choices going through if you pick this early. You're going to have to pick it late game, and even then you're probably not going to get a lot of value out of this. The only time where you're going to get a lot of tempo is if you play this on curve. And if you've got those high-cost infantries, it's a lot of ifs there. I don't see a lot of play.
So very situational at best.
Very situational.
And then moving on to the US of A, we have the first card for them, which is an elite. It's the 5th Medical Battalion. It costs 4, it has 1 operation cost, 0 attack and 5 defense, but its active ability is your other units have +1 attack and are fully repaired at the end of each of your turns. So this gives all of them +1 attack, much like the Type 93 from Japan, and then it will repair them continuously every turn, including the turn you deploy this. You deploy this, and when you end your turn, it will repair your units. How do you feel about the 5th Medical Battalion, Dynamo?
This is a great technical card. In draft, you're always looking for the great trades. This card's going to give you those great trades. The only downside is you're not going to play this on curve, and you're not going to play it by itself, so it can be a dead card in hand. I think where this card really shines is the wording at the end of your turn. This way you can trade and then get huge tempo swings when all your units get healed up again.
Sure, and I think there is a little bit of sort of niche combo with that US unit which dupes itself when it gets repaired. You can potentially, if you find both of those in your draft, just print out a bunch of units, which could be quite funny. But no, so this card is not always going to be very useful, but when you can sort of get it off, and when you get it off into that later bit of the game, it can really swing a lot of tempo in your direction. Is that right?
That's correct. Some might call it kind of a win more. You're going to play it when you're already ahead. So this is not going to get you ahead, but it's definitely going to put you in a greater trading position.
And then finally, this is the last card for the Escalation expansion, and I think this is possibly the most exciting one for draft, or at least I thought it was. It's a 6-drop with 2 operation cost. It's the M4A2. Now this is a 4/4 tank, but when you deploy it, it adds a copy of itself to your support line. So you get 2 4/4 tanks for 6 credits, which seems to me to be a lot of value. How do you feel about this, Dynamo?
You're always looking for those 2-for-1 cards in draft to get super value. This card just kind of ticks that box. You're getting 8/8 of stats for 6k, which is great. Of course, where this card kind of whittles down is that it's split between 2 units. 4 health is kind of doesn't really have that stickiness power that you're looking for, but definitely if you've got some draw issues, this is going to give you a ton of value.
Sure, it sort of reminds me of the Soviet card where you get 2 of your T-34s added to your support line. However, this costs 6, and then they don't have Blitz, and they're obviously a bit smaller. But I was under the impression that not having Blitz is less important for draft, where things are less about quickly getting things done, but more getting this value attrition war. Do you think the fact that this doesn't have Blitz is going to make it suffer at all in draft, or do you think it'll be able to overcome that with its pure value that it offers?
It's going to get you kind of ahead if you're behind in draw and stuff like that, and you're looking for answers and stuff like that. Yeah, it does not have Blitz, so it doesn't have that wow factor where you get the value right away. But I think it's going to get you out of a tough spot, just getting some units on the board for value. Again, you're not going to be playing this until probably turn 7, maybe turn 8, and you're not going to be able to operate it until the next turn. So you could put yourself in a bad position. It can be a potential bad tempo turn, but what you get out of it at the end it can be great.
And there you have it. That is our short summary of all the new cards in the World at War Escalation expansion. And be sure to subscribe to the War Room channel, leave a like to catch our next videos, and then do check the description as well. There will be a link to Dynamo's Twitch. Go and check him out, go and follow, go and subscribe, and just make sure to get involved. Leave a comment, let us know how you feel about these cards, let us know if you managed to get any cool wins with these new cards, and we will catch you guys next time.